here on your screen, showing you the inside of the courtroom for day 2 of the Rick Chow murder trial. Rick Chow was charged for the murder of 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack-Belton. Investigators say back in 2023, Chow chased the teenager after suspecting him of shoplifting bottled water. Well, investigators say it was later determined the teenager did not do that. Again, we are showing you some more live looks inside that courtroom in just a moment. Investigators also say Chow fired a shot, though, into the 14-year-old's back, killing him. Now, today's trial had a lot of key takeaways, and we know that Cyrus Carmack-Belton is staying on top of this story. She is now giving us a recap of today's events. Have a listen.
Hey everybody, Cyrus Carmack-Belton here. We are going to just be breaking down everything that happened in day 2 so far of the trial in the State versus Rick Chow. Today was a very tense and emotional day, and the tone of the courtroom was very clear almost from the very beginning. We're talking about today as it has now officially marked 3 years. This is the anniversary of Cyrus's death. Family and friends showing up at this courtroom today. But before testimony even got underway, the judge did address the mood in the room and then also address some of the behaviors from the attorneys.
And I don't know what or why there's this dynamic in this courtroom. I don't know whether it's TV cameras, media cover, I don't know. But there's way too much acrimony, bickering back and forth, sarcasm, eye rolling, disparaging opposing counsel. That stops right now. I didn't practice that way. I don't like to preside over cases that way. And I'm not talking to one person, I'm talking to every person.
I think it was even important for jury perception too. It does not look good. The jury's not going to like if you're rolling your eyes or anybody's being snarky across the board. They're going to cast judgment on somebody, and you definitely do not want that judgment as a defense lawyer. I'd imagine the solicitor's side as well.
And again, yeah, that comment really just set the tone for the day. So that's when the jurors then came in, testimony resumed. We did have eyewitness testimony again today. First up with Jasmine Broadwater describing seeing a young man running, hearing a popping sound, and then seeing an older man with a gun in his hand. But then on cross-examination, the defense pushed her on how her account became more detailed over time. But one of the biggest moments of the day was from a witness named Mr. Devontae Bryant. Bryant testified that he saw Cyrus running, falling, and struggling to get back up. He told jurors that Cyrus appeared out of breath and was trying to roll over and stand. That matters because the exact position Cyrus was in at the moment he was shot could be critical to how jurors evaluate what happened in those final seconds. And then came a very strong back and forth with the defense over whether Bryant's account today actually matched what he told officers earlier.
Like Cyrus fell. Once he fell, he was trying to like roll himself over, but I don't know if he could or not. But he was like putting his hands up as he was trying to roll himself over.
Okay.
But you could tell he was still out of breath. Like he was still breathing real hard.
Okay. Do you remember, let's make it very simple. Do you remember at some point in time telling an officer, anybody, that Cyrus was on the ground when he got shot?
Yeah.
That's a yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not a confusion, that's not a trick question, that's a yes.
Yeah.
Today, you're saying that's different, correct?
Yeah.
You have met with law enforcement, solicitors, everybody in between those 2 times, yes?
Yeah.
And we realize the first thing that you said about shot on the ground is not possible.
No.
And then I had the opportunity to talk to legal analyst today, Lacey Thompson, about that back and forth. Here's what she had to say.
That doesn't help the state, right? It would help the state better if he was standing up because it would be harder to make that shot in self-defense. So I definitely think Sean did a very good job cross-examining him on that point, and I think that definitely helped the defense. I don't think it helped the state. And like I said, was he prepped? Was he shown his prior testimony? Why is his story changing? Or is he being untruthful?
I also asked Miss Lacey Thompson about anything that either the defense or the prosecution may have missed so far in their questioning. Here's what she had to say.
I know the witness that ended yesterday said, when he was running, he was holding up his pants. And I envisioned jeans or, something baggy, loose, where, and I've seen you run with those pants. And so that's what I would have expected. So what shocked me is when they showed a picture of Cyrus, he's in a Nike athletic pant that looks like it's made for running. So of course I'm going back and like, well, that doesn't make sense. Why is he holding up his pants? These pants seem to be fitted And then I did hear Joe bring up in cross-examination, was there anything in his pants? And I think he was bringing up the fact of the money, like that he didn't have any money to pay for any items. But what I was going back to, well, there was nothing weighing down his pants then. So why would he be holding his pants?
Okay, so heading into the rest of the day, this is going to be one of the big things to watch. Not just what witnesses say happened, but whether jurors believe that those accounts are consistent. Now, we also are possibly going to be hearing from the pathologist. I know already we have seen some photos from the autopsy report, and a lot of families started to gasp and also get very emotional when they started to see especially the bullet hole in Cyrus. So that is going to be something that we might possibly be hearing from a pathologist. Also, the state, according to Kiki, who heard in the courtroom, might be wrapping up with their witnesses for the day. But of course, as always, we will keep you up to date on everything that happens inside that courtroom.
All right, Christy, thank you so much. And by the way, we are continuing the coverage all throughout this trial and want to make sure you know you can always depend on us for the very latest updates. So take a look right here at your screen. Download our free News 19 app right now by scanning that QR code that we will continue sharing.